Hi there, Aries. Welcome back. If you're new here, if you're a cross watcher, my name is Ninja and I'll be your reader. We're going to see what is going to be coming out for you today. Don't forget to comment, guys, because it really does help me to connect with your energy and give you a more thorough reading here. Wow. So, Aries, it looks like you know something. You have like a higher understanding of things. And it looks like you are not going to let anything push you or rush you. Looks like you're like loosening up control of things. Or it looks like you're also waiting for something to come in. You could be waiting for something to come in, but it's like your higher intuition is telling you to wait, not to do something just yet. Listen to your intuition always. You might have been hoarding or doing things like gathering things, using your time and energy to get things together, right? And now it's like you're waiting for something, okay? You're holding on to something here. I see here that you understand what it's like not to have anything. You might come from a background where you didn't come from much. You understand what it's like to be poor or homeless, maybe even, okay? Like you understand what it's like to go through financial problems. Tell me more about the Page of Cups. Four of Wands. You might also have had a vision, okay? And this might be for one of you. Maybe you had a dream, right? You had an inner vision. You understand something. You see the inside of something that is working. Now you might have plans, okay? And you might be trying to expand on something or make something grow, but right now I see you as waiting for something. It looks like you're comfortable, right? You're comfortable, but you don't trust this comfort. It's like you're waiting for something to fall apart. You're waiting for something to, it might be because you're so used to things falling apart. You understand what it's like to be poor. You understand what it's like to go through extreme hardships. So right now things are working out and you're on this verge of expanding, so you don't trust it. You're scared. You're nervous. You don't trust it because it's like in the past you've always had things happen that ended up messing things up for you. So this is why you're postponing celebrating right now, because you're waiting for something to fall apart or you're expecting it to fall apart. You could be feeling like very vulnerable, like you're in a very vulnerable position at this time and you don't know which way to turn, right? I feel like for some of you, maybe you've reached out to organizations or you reached out to people for help and then only to be turned away, right? So it's kind of like even though you know that there's help out there, where do you go? Right? Because you've reached out to organizations, you reached out to people and you tried to get help, but maybe in your past experiences you didn't get the help that you wanted or you needed. So it makes you question everything, And right now your intuition is on point though. Okay, so listen to your intuition, because there seems to be a battle between your intuition, what your intuition is saying, and then your learned experiences. So your intuition is saying, okay, it's time to move on. It's time to go ahead and see what comes next. What's the next opportunity that you could take on? But then your learned experiences are saying, don't jump too quickly. Your learned experiences is that you're not going to get help, so it's better to play safe than be sorry later on, right? That kind of energy. You might feel stuck or you feel like you're not getting something that you truly deserve. Even though you have stability in your life, it looks like it's just not enough. Now, you might also be upset or angry because Well, maybe you have like with the two of coins coming out, like maybe you have too many things that you're juggling. So I feel like this is more of a reading of financial, like finances. It has something to do with finances at this time. We got the Ten of Wands coming out. So financially, it's like you don't know which way to go. So anger. Okay. So you might be feeling frustrated and angry because you're juggling so much. You know, you might have like way too many things going on at one time. Talking about finances, I feel very strongly that this has to do with finances. Like you have too many bills working against you all at the same time. This is why the devil's coming out, because it's like there's a part of you that feels like, you know, maybe you could cheat at something, right? Maybe you can cheat, or maybe you could let go of something, like maybe not pay your credit cards, right? Something like that, like because I've been hearing about that, you know, people not wanting to pay their credit cards. Maybe you're thinking of not paying your credit cards, you know, doing something that is I don't want to say wrong, right? Because wrong is not really the word, but something way different than you normally would do. Normally, I think you would have paid your credit cards. I'm using the credit cards as an example, guys, okay? But this kind of gives you the idea of what I'm seeing here. Like normally you would do something, but right now, because of the situation, this could be like things that are going on around you, things that you're seeing. There's a part of you that wants to, or might even feel tempted to do things that are out of character, like not paying your credit cards, right? Because of you feeling like it's the only way that you're going to get an advantage, right? The only way that you're going to be able to get yourself unstuck out of something is by doing something very drastic and something that might not necessarily be good for you at this time. Or this could simply be like you're borrowing from one credit card to pay another credit card, and then vice versa. So it's like you're stuck in a cycle, right? Where basically, like, say if you owe a debt, right? And then you go and you owe 215, right? You borrowed $200, but you owe 215 because of the interest, right? So you go and you pay the 215, but then you turn around and take the 200 back again. So it's like you're stuck in this financial loop where every month you're paying so much money on interest, or you feel like it's getting wasted. And so more likely it's an interest. Like you're paying so much in interest for the same amount of money that you've been like flipping every month, right? And there's a part of you that is trying to force something. You're trying to force a plan, and it's like you're pushing yourself really hard to push a plan because you feel like if you push it, then you're going to succeed. You're going to get on top again, or you're going to get further away from that line of being in some kind of hardship. You know, like you're going to separate yourself from that line. Like you might be feeling like you're too close to a line. You're too close to being homeless, or you're too close to going into bankruptcy, or you're too close to something that's making you feel very uncomfortable. Okay? Um and it's like you're postponing this celebration, and the thing is that you've come so far and you're still looking ahead, but you're not looking at how far you've come already, because what I'm hearing here, Aries, is that you've come a long way. So you got to celebrate those little wins, you know, to encourage you to keep going, but you do got to celebrate the good things and not focus so much on the bad things. And I know this is not for all of you, right? This is not for everybody, but this is definitely for somebody here. You know, staying focused on that, and also not paying attention to your intuition because of fear of the things that you've experienced, right? Which is hard to do. I can totally relate to what you're going through. That is learned experiences, that especially going through hardship, financial hardship, going through periods where you've been hungry and didn't have enough to eat. That kind of stuff stays with you for years, if not forever. So I could totally relate with you with how you're feeling and how you are, willing to do pretty much anything to get you as far away from that line as possible. I could totally relate. I could totally understand where you're coming from. And I personally think a lot of people can sympathize how you feel about this situation. And your stress level is so high. Yes. Okay, so what I'm understanding is yes, you're going to have to start letting things go for better things to come in. You got to let go of your some responsibilities. You're going to have to let go of something. Something has to give, right? Something's going to have to give. That's what I'm hearing. Hmm. And I hate to say responsibilities because it's not really responsibility. I said responsibilities, but that's not what the cards are saying. It's more of the cards is actually saying I said responsibilities. So it could be responsibilities, but the cards itself is saying like task. Like let go of task. Maybe you're doing too much, maybe you're juggling too much, maybe you just have too much on your plate, or you're trying to handle too much, or you're trying to take too much of a big bite of something too quickly, right? But I said responsibilities. So it could be responsibilities. Maybe you're putting responsibilities on yourself, right? Like maybe you're trying to learn, okay, what's coming to mind is like maybe you're trying to garden and grow your own garden and you're trying to do like too much at one time. You're trying to take off too much of a bite at one time and you're like throwing a lot of money at something, right? Instead of learning how to do things at a cheaper way. Maybe you're jumping too quickly, maybe because you're panicking, you're nervous because you're getting so close to that line of going through financial hardships, or you could be going through financial hardships, but you're worried that it's going to get worse, right? You're too close to the line where it's going to become extremely uncomfortable. It looks like being comfortable is very important to you, right? Of course, it's important to everybody, but you don't want to go too close to that line. So this is where you might be like cheating a system or pushing a plan because you're wanting it to succeed so badly, and you're throwing more money at it instead of looking at it in a different way so that you could get it done but in a cheaper way without having to go into debt or having to spend more money, right? So spirit is wanting you to like step back from a situation. There's a cheaper way of doing things, right? And go that route. Or look at more of your options. You might have more options than you realize. You might have more opportunities or more options than you realize. Now, for somebody here, you might actually be working really hard because you could be going through some kind of loss or some kind of heartbreak or something like that. And you're like throwing yourself into a project. You're throwing yourself into work in a project out of grief, which is a good way. That is something where you could turn a negative into a positive is by taking that negative energy that you're feeling and turn it into a positive, so you're actually doing the right thing. Now, this also might be for one of you also. It's like you see something is not working, but you keep pushing it. You keep pushing forward instead. Like something is not working, but you keep going. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, even though and this could be a relationship, or it could be a situation that you're in. It could be something to do with finances, right? But it's like you keep doing something even though it's not working, and it's something that's causing you a lot of stress and anxiety. And it's like you should be doing something, but you're not. But there's also this energy of you taking a rest and getting ready to come out of a rest. So that might also be for somebody here too, where you found yourself in a situation you couldn't get yourself out of because it was like you're you're in this deep cycle of something, and you just kept going because it's like, what else are you going to do, right? But there's this energy of you coming out of it. Like you needed to take a rest. You took that rest, but now you're getting ready to jump out of it. You're getting ready to jump out of a period that you were in. Maybe you were sick. Maybe you were depressed, Aries. Maybe you had, because stress does that to you, right? Maybe you had a lot of things going on and you needed to take a break. Take that break. If you haven't taken the break, take a break. All right? This way you can come back because there's definitely something here that needs to be rebuilt. There's also something here. This could be a relationship, okay? Maybe for one of you. But I feel for the rest, I feel like this has something to do with finances. Like you need to rebuild something and then to make the right decisions, right? Somebody here definitely went through a very terrible period in your life where you you suffered from grief, sorrow, loss, and I'm hearing like it was an extreme loss where it really shook up your world and it was really bad. And now you're so scared to make any moves because you're so worried about like going through that again. Like say if you were pushed to the verge of, a mental breakdown because, you just had so much going on. And it's like you're so scared. You're very hesitant to make a decision to move forward because you're so worried that you're going to push yourself too hard, which I could totally understand. And I don't think anybody would disagree with you, right? Be cautious. But there's this heavy weight of, not wanting to go through that again. Again, it's like whatever this was something that really has marked your life, scarred you. You're carrying some really deep scars here where it's really it's running your life. You're not running your life, Aries. This experience is running your life. You went through such an extreme loss, such an extreme period of grief where you for somebody here, I'm hearing like you couldn't even get out of bed. It was so bad. And financially, it hit you financially. So it was something that really not just affected your mental state, but also your financial state. So this is why you're willing to try to do anything to get out of this bubble or this mess, right? You're in this period in your life where you're at a crossroads. You really are. You don't see it, but you are. You're at a crossroads. And somebody here, you didn't get the nurturing that you really deserved. Okay, so when you were going through this horrible period, more likely you didn't have help. You didn't have anybody to help you. You didn't have anybody to understand you. You didn't have anybody that would sympathize with you. Even though there was supposed to be help out there and you more likely reached out and didn't receive the help that you were supposed to get, which I'm so sorry. I'm hearing like you literally fell through the net. You fell through the holes in this support system. Somehow you fell right through it. And it could have been because of something so small, like the smallest little detail, and you didn't qualify because of one little thing or something like that. Like you just fell through the system. That's what I'm hearing. Or you fell through something where something was supposed to catch you and it didn't. So now you don't trust it. You don't trust the system. You don't trust that there's help out there. You feel like you're on this island all alone. You're by yourself. You're trying to function. You're trying to move forward, but at the same time, you have these scars on you that are holding you down, that are preventing you from, taking opportunities because you're so busy trying to play safe that you're not walking. It's more of like you're tiptoeing because you want to be so cautious and careful because you feel like you're the only person that you could really depend on. Like you feel like you don't have anybody else really. You're alone. Or maybe you do have people around you, but they're in a bad position and they can't help you. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you're still back to, you know, back to that spot where you technically are alone. You don't have somebody to reach out to. So you might be hoarding, right? Or you feel like you're hoarding. You might feel guilty thinking that you're hoarding. It depends on hoarding. Hoarding, what one person calls hoarding might not necessarily be hoarding, right? Hoarding is when you hold on to things that have no value, don't bring no value to your life, is something that is not truly needed in your life, and it does nothing but brings you stress, chaos, misery. That's hoarding, right? But if you have a lot of things, but you have them in order and you need them and you use them and you utilize them, and they are at a location where you could reach them if you needed them, that's different. See, there's a fine line between what is hoarding and what is not hoarding. Now, you might have had people accusing you, saying, "Oh, you're just a hoarder, this and that," and you're not a hoarder, right? It depends on how it works, right? I saw a video of Mormons. Mormons has like this underground, um, like a room underground. I forgot what it's called. We don't have them in Texas, but like an underground bunker, and they have like food and everything in there, right? Somebody could see that and say, "Oh, you're hoarding," right? But they're not hoarding because they have a system. Nothing goes to waste. They use it all, and food is something that everybody needs. So regardless, in 20 years, you're going to need food. So it's not hoarding. So you might have had somebody like accuse you of hoarding, but you're not really hoarding. Maybe collecting some things might actually bring you some comfort, right? With that temperance energy, you might be gathering things that are bringing you comfort. And if they're bringing you comfort and they are useful to you, and you could access them when you need to, in other words, you're organized, then that's not hoarding. That's being resourceful. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's different. So don't let other people's opinions pull you down, Aries. That's what I'm trying to say. It does look like you're trying to force a solution to your problems. Let's see what else comes out. Four of Cups. Ooh, you got the Ace of Coins coming out, though. That is good. So you might be trying to force a solution, like go at it hard. Definitely a warning here about being stuck in your head. Okay? Spirit is saying right now is not the time to be stuck in your head. Right now is the time to make a plan. And even if you're going to go slow, right? Even if you're tiptoeing, that's fine. Make a plan, but as long as you're working toward that plan, that's all that matters. Okay? Don't be in your head. Now, I do see a new beginning. We do have the Ace of Coins coming out. So I do feel like that's a very positive thing that is coming out. I feel like you're going to get out of this funk. Okay? And that's what I'm calling this, a funk. You're in the middle of a funk. Funk. Okay? Like you're stuck in a cycle, but you're going to get out of it. You're going to figure it out. But forcing something, even though you're frustrated and angry and not really content with the situation that you're in, these kind of feelings are one thing, but trying to force something, trying to force yourself to go at something 100% and do it in an unhealthy way is dangerous, okay? So I feel like that's why the devil's coming in, because you're pushing yourself too hard, right? Tiptoeing, yes, you're tiptoeing, which it's kind of like you're tiptoeing because you because of the scars you're carrying with you, but at the same time, you're trying to push something like you're running on empty. That's the energy I'm getting. Like you're a car, but you're running on empty. So take that break that you need. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this reading, guys. The Ace of Coins, I do want to tell you this. Oh, this fly. I just feel very strongly that you're going to have a fresh start. But you need to take a break. So you can take this fresh start. So you can appreciate the fresh start when it comes. And with it coming out as the Ace of Coins, it makes me feel like this is going to be an opportunity, a fresh job, maybe for somebody here, a job, something that's going to bring some stability. Okay, some stability, something that's going to help you. So I feel like something's going to turn up. If you're looking for a job, I feel like a job is coming up. Okay, but you got to be ready for it, mentally ready for it, and physically. So take that much needed break, right? But I do feel for the rest of you, if this isn't a job, there's an opportunity that's coming, a fresh opportunity. Okay, this could also be like a business venture, something that you could make money off of, and be your own boss, that kind of thing. So I feel very strongly for some of you that's a new job coming in, something that's going to pay you very well, and it's going to help you get out of this cycle that you're in. Some of you, it's going to be a new business. There's an opportunity that's out there. Okay? There's opportunities out there. You just got to be ready to grab it, Aries. Let me go ahead and give you your angel numbers really quickly. 44. Oh, that's so nice. 44 is coming out. And 111. Okay, so 44. It says your angels are encouraging you to continue on your present life path with diligence and determination, and even greater success will come in the future. I am supported. That's why I was like, oh, you're supported, Aries. Okay? Your angels are with you. You're not alone. You got 111 coming out. It says angels are ready to fully support you again. Okay? In this endeavor so that you can co-create with the universe a life that you love. I am creative. So put that in the comment section. I am creative. I am supported. And both of them says your angels are encouraging you to continue on your present life path. And then here, your angels are ready to fully support you. I feel very strongly that you have a support system out there. You might not feel that you do, but you do have a support system that is around you. Your angels are with you, Aries. Okay? This period in your life that you're going through, it's not going to be forever. Nothing is ever forever. And stay away from doing anything that is not healthy for you, okay? Or cycles that are causing you more stress than help, right? Anyways, catch me in the next one, guys. I do hope this helps you out, or I hope this reading was what you needed it to be, because I feel very strongly this is definitely for some of you. Now, maybe not all of you, but for some of you. And yeah, catch me in the next one, guys. Love you guys. Y'all take care. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, because it does help me connect with your energy even more when you comment. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.